NY MLB Talk, New York's #1 baseball podcast. Now here's your hosts, Chris Pizzaya and Rob Maraska.
And welcome to a new episode of NY MLB Talk with your hosts, Chris and Rob, as we cover the Yankees and the Mets and Major League Baseball. And if you're watching us on YouTube right now, hit that subscribe button for us. That would be awesome. We would appreciate that. And if you want, you can follow us on TikTok and on Twitter/X at NYMLB Talk. And you can follow Rob at Maraska. You can follow myself at CP7NY as well. So, Rob, Mets Braves, what happened?
Listen, now's the time to start winning, okay? Here we go. All right. We were talking before the show that the Mets are not playing with urgency. You said it, and I agree with you. They are not playing with urgency. What's going on with this New York Met baseball team? Just when you think they're starting to hit again, when they scored 13 runs against the Braves the other night, and they won. What happens yesterday? They blow a 5-run lead. They lose. Tonight they lose. They blow the lead. Listen, they look horrible. Lindor's starting to hit. Alonso's hitting a little. McNeil's he's hitting the ball hard, but he's hitting it where they are. You know, he's hitting into a lot of bad luck. But it's time. Now's the time. It's the middle of August, and you can't say, well, you know, we have a lot of time left. We got 40 games left, Chris. That's it, 40 games.
Yeah, and you know what? It seemed like, you know what, after the Milwaukee, getting swept by Milwaukee, all right, you know what? Milwaukee's great. They're hot right now. You know what? They're going to beat anybody at this point. And you guys won the first game against Atlanta. I thought, all right, you know what? This is starting to turn around for you guys. You guys won big, 13-5. But then what happened in that middle game with the Braves? Not tonight, but what happened last night? You guys were up 6-0.
It's, you know what? It's just, we thought they made the right moves, right? I wanted Mullins, and we talked about this Monday. I'm just going to keep saying it. He really hasn't done that much. He's starting to hit a little. But the bullpen, we thought that they made the right moves with the bullpen. And what happens? Helsley doesn't know how to pitch anymore. He comes over from the Cardinals as one of the top, closers in baseball, and now they're just hitting them all over the place. I don't know. This team looks horrible, and now they are only 1/2 game ahead of the Cincinnati Reds for the last wild card spot, which our guest and my dog's vet, Dr. Jerger, is probably very happy about, but I'm not happy. It's, they have to start winning. They have a tough series coming up against Seattle, and it's not looking good. And I see people, people in the stands, and I was talking to you about this before. All right, enough with the My Girl singing. Enough with the friggin' cheerleaders waving flags. We're not in Japan. I don't want to see cheerleaders waving flags. I don't want to sing My Girl. I just want you to start hitting. All right, enough already. It's like this is the time. First of all, starting pitching, okay? Senga got to the 5th inning today, okay? What a major – that's like a major story there, because Mets pitchers, starting pitchers can't even get through 4 innings. So the bullpen is taxed. Horrible. I don't know. It's just – and Soto, okay? Now we could start saying, what is going on with Soto? Because we kept saying, well, Soto's going to be Soto. Last night he hit a 2-run homer. So I said, finally, Soto hit a home run with somebody on base, because most of his home runs have been solo shots. But what's going on? He's out in the field. He's misplaying balls. He's not throwing to the cutoff guy. I don't know. It just, these guys have got to start playing baseball, or else guess what? We thought there was going to be a Subway series. There's not going to be any Subway running at all.
I think we got no shot at that now. And Soto's actually stealing bases. Like, what's going on?
Yeah. The Mets are this is how you know it's bizarro world, all right? Because the Mets are killing it with stolen bases. They just broke a club record of most consecutive stolen bases tonight. Not that matters, because you know what? That doesn't mean anything unless you're winning. But yeah, the one thing the Mets are doing well is stealing bases. But I guess you know what? The opposing pitchers are like, let them steal the base because they can't hit with runners in scoring position. So it doesn't matter if they're stealing bases because they're not scoring. So steal that base, steal second, and again, you'll be left on second because the Mets are not scoring with runners in scoring position. They did the first game against Atlanta. I got to give them credit. They got a lot of 2-out hits, okay? But yesterday blowing that big lead and then tonight blowing the lead, the Mets are in trouble.
And listen, right, and your next series is up against one of the best pitching teams in the major leagues right now, right? With Seattle. I mean, Seattle's got one of the best pitching staffs, one of the better bullpens. How is this offense gonna, turn around now and start scoring runs against one of the best pitching staffs in baseball? So that
it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, Chris. I mean, it really is. I mean, look who they're going up. Castillo is pitching on Friday night, right? Then the Mets. Oh, wait, what did I say? Castillo. I don't even know what I'm saying.
Oh, yes, Luis Castillo.
Yeah, Castillo. He's pitching. He's pitching Friday night. Okay. Then the Mets have Nolan McLean's debut on Saturday. So let's see how he does. But sometimes when these kids start in these high pressure things, we know what's going to happen. And Sunday it's Kirby against Holmes. Kirby's 8-5. They both have 3.71 ERA. But Holmes looks tired to me. He really does. Like we've said, he's never pitched this many innings in the major league. And Rob, you sound mad. No, I'm happy. Maria. Of course I'm not like these other guys who scream all the time. I'm cool and stuff, but there gets to be a point. Anyway, Sunday night is not at Citi Field. Sunday night is the Little League Classic. So they're going to be in Williamsport on Sunday night. So let's see what happens there. But this Seattle pitching staff is great. And I'm sure Cal Raleigh's going to hit some bombs against the Mets. I just have that feeling. And Rodriguez, I like him in center field. So they're hitting a little better than they were hitting. The Mets are at a crucial point right now. Wouldn't you agree, Chris?
Oh, absolutely. Both our teams are. This is like win now, must win games coming up, right? And the Mets are 2-10 since the trade deadline, and we praised the Mets about what a great job they did at the deadline with their pitching, and I thought they did. I thought, you know what, this is one of the best bullpens in the game right now with the moves that you guys made, and look where we're at. I'm amazed. I'm amazed.
Yeah, if not the best, and it hasn't turned out that way. And Vientos, that's another story. He's been non-existent. He's been benched for the last 4 or 5 games. Okay, Beatty's hitting a little, but what happened to him? It's just it's a mess in Flushing right now. It's really a mess. And wait, let me mention this too. And Alonso did break Strawberry's Met home run record with 253, and then he's hit a couple more after that. And real quick, it is a celebration. Okay, Chris Mad Dog Russo, everybody heard him, putting down Gary Cohen and the Mets about celebrating this. What's 253 home runs? The Yankees have this many, blah, 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 blah. Well, the Yankees have been in existence way longer than the Mets, and it's a club record. So, yes, you should celebrate that record. All right? I don't care what anybody says, especially coming from him. Chris Russo, you're really done. Who really listens to Chris Russo anymore? I have no idea. I have no idea who listens to him, but this is coming from a guy who's lived in New York his whole life, right? And he's a San Francisco Giant fan, and he was born after they left New York to go to San Francisco. So who's even listening to him?
And you know what? I think it was Don LaGreca that said it, and I think on his radio show. You know what? This is for the Met fans, right? This record is for the Met fans, for the Met franchise. So if you're not a Met fan, you really shouldn't comment on what happened, right? It's something that the Met fans are celebrating. It's something that Cohen, is expressing in his call for the home run. Like this was for you, and this was for all the Met fans, that this guy just broke the home run record, right? Yeah, it's only 253. Okay, you want to make a joke about that? That's fine. But, we could say why it's like that, right? Because you guys never had a power hitter stay around long enough. Exactly. David Wright would have broke it, but we know what happened with him with his back. He definitely would have broke the record, but it's, you got Piazza a little bit later in his career. You didn't get him from the beginning, know. So there's a lot of things, right? If Kingman played his whole career with the Mets, obviously he would have broke it. I mean, it is what it is, right?
And
for the Met fan.
You're right. And Strawberry would have had more home runs if he stayed with the Mets. And Strawberry even admits the biggest mistake he did was leave the Mets to sign with the Dodgers. And that is true, because look what happened after that. He won, World Series with the Yankees, which is another thing that makes Met fans sick. But he would have had way more, and it wouldn't be broken yet. And you have to remember too, Pete Alonso has done it quicker. All right. He's only done it in 7 years. And one of those years was the COVID year.
Right.
So
it wasn't even a full year. Absolutely. And you know what? He's having a really good season. Well, we could talk all we want about Soto not doing well, and, Lindor and everybody else, but Alonso's putting together a pretty solid season. Especially, and he knows, and we know it too, he's probably going to opt out. But, you're talking about a guy, he's got 28 home runs, coming into today. He had 28 and 98, and he's batting 272. How much more do you want from this guy?
Exactly.
So he's been probably the most consistent batter all season. Yeah, he was really good. He dropped a little bit, but still 270. I mean, I would think that's above his average, no?
Definitely. No complaints about that. And hello to Joe Dell out there. Once again, Joe, I want to thank you for covering for me last week. Your show got a lot of views. And another thing, I want to say hello to Anthony Savino out there. He's another one, Chris. His show got a lot of views, and I can't wait to have him come back on. With our friend Scott from the South Florida Tribune. That should definitely be a fun show.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to that. Listen, anytime Savino wants to come on, I'm all for it, because he's always, I love seeing passionate fans. I'd love to see Yankee passionate fans too, but to see a passionate Met fan, I'm all for. I just love passionate fans, because that, to me, that's what being a fan is. You have to be passionate about your team, whoever that team may be. It might be the worst team in the league, or it might be the best team. You got to be passionate, right? So I love seeing that. But you know what? With the Mets, like you said, yeah, it's time to go. Obviously for Yankees too, the Mets. And I was telling you earlier, I mean, the Mets got a tough schedule coming up, right? After Seattle, it's Washington, okay, at Atlanta, okay, but then it's home against Philly for 3. Then it's Miami, but check this out. Starting September 1st, you got to travel. This is a tough road trip. At Detroit for 3 games. Then it's at Cincinnati for 3 games. Then you go to Philly for 4 games. So that's a 10-game road trip to Detroit, Cincy, and it ends in Philly, 4 games. That's probably going to make or break your season. I hate to say it, but I think it will.
No, you're right. That's going to make or break the Mets season, no doubt. They've got to get their act together. They have to take the series against Seattle now, but we know how Seattle's pitching is, like you said, and the Mets have not been hitting together. When are the 4? When are Nimmo, Soto, Alonso, and Lindor all going to start hitting together? I don't know. But they got to start hitting and they gotta start. It's getting late early, right? That's what they say. Well, now guess what? It's time. But all right, let's go to the Yankees before I lose my voice. The Yankees took 2 out of 3 from the Twins. So why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, that's nothing new. It would have been nice to sweep them, but yeah, taking 2 out of 3, that's nice. They lost the third game. And you'd want to talk about urgency. That's a good game to kind of show us about the Yankees not showing urgency whatsoever. I mean, the game was tied going into the 6th inning. Joe Ryan pitching really good. He gave up the home run to Bellinger in the 3rd inning. Twins tied it in the 4th. It was 1-1 going into the 6th. They took out Schlittler, and he was, you know what? Hey, listen, for a kid that's making his 6th to 7th start, he's pitching really good. Can't complain. But instead of going with one of your top arms coming out of the bullpen, you bring in De Los Santos, who's one of your worst arms in a tie game at 1-1. Like, what are we doing? You had all these other guys. You had Leiter ready, could have came in. Doval you could have brought in, even Weaver to bring in a little bit earlier. That's fine. Like, why don't Joe, Ryan, runs are going to be scarce with Joe Ryan. Joe Ryan's a really good pitcher. That's why everybody was trying to trade for him at the deadline. Really good pitcher. He only had the one mistake with Bellinger. So why not bring in your best guys now to just match up those innings that he's putting up, those goose eggs he's putting up? You got to match them, right? Until you get into their bullpen, then we got a shot. But didn't do it. So they gave up 3 runs in the 6th, and the Yankees couldn't get anything after that. So they ended up losing 4-1. Would have been nice to sweep, but all right, we took 2 out of 3. But now next up is St. Louis, and St. Louis is not that far from you guys in the wild card. I think they're like 4 games behind you right now. You know, so they're in it. So they're not, they might have sold a little bit at the deadline, but they're in it right now. They're right there. They're 3 games behind Cincinnati in the division. So that's how close it is. So it's still a team that the Yankees should beat, but that's happened a lot this year, and we haven't beaten those teams. So we shall see what happens. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm kind of curious to see if this was the turnaround that the Yankees needed, to get a little bit of confidence in their in the lineup, in the pitching, and their pitching is lined up. They got Luis Gil going against Andre Palante Friday night. Saturday, you got Max Fried against Sonny Gray. Now, Max Fried has been not good since he had that blister issue. I'm hoping he could bounce back finally because we need him. Like, he's got to be the ace. Without him, it's not going to be good. I can't see us even having a shot to get to the playoffs, or even if we do, winning in the playoffs without Fried being that ace pitcher, because you can't go anywhere without an ace, right? So
right.
And then Sunday it's Will Warren against Michaelis, I should say.
Yeah,
so,
Michaelis.
Yeah, I mean those are at least 2 games that you should win. At least to me, in the Fried game against Gray could pitch great, and he probably will against us.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And another, Busta only put up a tweet earlier. Most bullpen losses this season. Do you want to take a guess? What 2 teams are in the top 6?
Let's see. Are we talking about both of them right now?
Yes. The Mets are third most with 27, and the Yankees are 6th most with 26. Only the White Sox at 35 and the Rangers at 29 have more than the Mets and the Yankees.
That's an unbelievable stat. You would have never thought that first 2 months of the season. All right, what about Williams? What's going on with Williams? Did Alonso break him?
I think so. It must have, because he is a different pitcher this year, right? Someone put up a stat with best stuff, the ratings and all this analytical stuff, and he still has great stuff, but the results are just not there. So I don't know what's going on with him. It's got to be mental, or it definitely is mental. I mean, there's no shot he's coming back next season. A lot of people were like, "Oh, they should DFA him." I don't think they're going to DFA him this late in the season.
I don't
think they
think
got to
so.
just ride it out, and just throw him in like the fifth or sixth inning. If there's a blowout or something, you can't give him high leverage innings anymore. If it's a close game late in the game, you can't bring him in. It's sad, man. This guy, whether that hit broke, whether that home run broke him mentally or just playing in New York has broke him, because he is just not the same guy as he was with Milwaukee. I mean, just look at the numbers. I mean, you got it. It's crazy, but that's just another guy we're going to chalk up on that list of can't pitch in New York or can't hit in New York, right? Unfortunately, we know too many of them, right?
We do.
But he's just one more.
And Chris, what would happen too if the Yankees make the playoffs? You can't trust him in the postseason. No. I don't think.
No, I'll be honest. I don't think he's going to make the playoff roster, because you got Fernando Cruz coming back. He just started a rehab assignment tonight. Ryan Yarbrough is going to come back. He started a rehab assignment. So that's two arms that you got to bring, onto the roster, in the next couple of weeks. So I think Cruz will be back after a couple of appearances. So he'll be back pretty soon. So I don't know. And then you got Loaizaga coming back as well. Not that he's pitching that good either, but if he comes back, that's just another option. So yeah, I don't think Williams is even going to make the roster for the playoffs.
Yeah,
that's how bad.
And that's sad. It really is sad. It is. That both these teams, I think right now, at least the Yankees are, in a little better shape than the Mets. The Mets just look lost. It's like every night. 2 wins out of the last 17 games. It's ridiculous for a team that in April and May you didn't think the Phillies were going to catch them the way the Phillies were playing then, and now the Phillies are giving the Mets every opportunity to gain ground, and the Mets just aren't doing it. So right now I like the Yankees better than I like the Mets. I like the Yankees' chances better than I like the Mets right now.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I think if both teams make the playoffs, right, I like the Yankees' chances more, only because of the rest of the American League is just not good, right? It's just not great. So any team could win it in the American League. I mean, literally any team can make it to the World Series out of the American League. In the National League, it's a much tougher road. That's where I think if the Mets are going to have a problem if they make it to the playoffs. If they make it to the playoffs, it's going to be a tough road, because think about it. You're going to play, who are you playing in the first round right now? Let's see. If they get in on the final, if they get the final wild card, the top 2 get the bye, right? The Phillies,
right?
It would be the Brewers and the Phillies and San Diego are tied right now. So, all right, let's say the Phillies. They're going to either play the Phillies or the Padres in the first round right now.
And I'd rather see them play the Phillies and the Padres in the first round, of course, because of what happened last year. Maybe it's a little in the Phillies' head. The Phillies might be a little tired, but listen, the Phillies helped their bullpen, tremendously at the trade deadline. So it's tough. The Mets just have to start hitting. And listen, there's 40 games left. It is urgent now, but if they start hitting like they should hit, then, like I said Monday, we'll forget all about this, and it'll be the playoff run excitement like last year. But they have to start hitting. Something has to change. That's it for both teams, for the Mets and the Yankees.
Absolutely. This is go time. We've been saying this, right? Unfortunately, we've been saying this for a couple of weeks, but
I know.
Now it's go time, right? So it's
it's go time, Jerry. Yeah, really. Now's the time.
But
all right,
all right, 40 games this week. Next week it'll be 35 games left.
Yep.
Right.
And before you know it, it'll be over. It's a long season, but it goes pretty fast, especially once you get to the All-Star break. After the All-Star break, it zooms by.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like the All-Star break was just the other day, and like we're in the middle of August already. It's crazy. Yeah. But all right, we're enough with the complaining and stuff. Let's talk about some silly things. All right, I brought up before the cheerleading and all that in baseball. Does that drive you as crazy as it does me?
Well, thankfully, my team doesn't have cheerleaders, so
yes, your
it
team
doesn't bother me as much. I think if the Yankees had it, it probably would, but it's not on my team, so I'm not going to complain about it.
But yeah,
I hate it. Yeah, I'm not. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm all for getting the fans more into it, all that stuff. Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. But man, there's got to be other ways to do it, right?
Yeah, there has to be. Shoot some more T-shirts or something. But it drives me crazy when I see, especially when the Mets are losing, and I see these people jump on the dugout and they're waving giant flags, and it's like I said before, it's like we're watching baseball like we're in Japan, where they do that all the time. It's like just craziness, It's it drives me crazy.
I'd rather see. Like if you're talking about Japan, right? Like they have songs for like each player, right? Like that the crowd sings, not the music that they play, but they actually sing a song for like each player that comes up to bat. I'd rather see something like that.
Yeah,
than
I
cheerleaders and flag, guys running around with flags and all that stuff,
Because let's not make the major leagues look like the Savannah Bananas. That's good on its own, and
right.
It's don't get too crazy. But let's talk about this. Okay, we talked about this a little before. The family of that little leaguer from New Jersey who got suspended for doing the bat flip. Remember that? And then a judge reinstated him, okay? His father's an attorney. Well, get this one. Not only are they auctioning off the bat, but also they're making commemorative pins, okay? And guess whose idea this came from? This is the best. The idea for these pins came from Jeff and Todd Frazier. Yes, the Todd father.
That is so strange. All right, now let me ask you something. They're selling all this stuff. Is it going to charity at least, or is it just?
Well, right now they said they're not selling it, so I think it's going to be because they're only going to make 27 pins, and the bat. They haven't said what it's going to go to. I would hope that it goes to charity. Then it's all right. Yeah. But I don't know what they're doing. I think they're doing it also for that Netflix collectible show. That's another reason. That's another thing I think they're doing it for. But really, who wants to buy a little leaguer's bat?
Right.
Right? I mean, I think I have my trophy from 1976 when I made the Lodi All-Star team, and it's from 1976. It's from, it's from the bicentennial year, so it's flag, it's flag colors and stuff. It's stupid. Unless it's going to charity, what do you think about this?
Right, exactly. Unless it's going for charity, I think it's really stupid. But then the person that's buying it is probably even more stupider, unless it's a family member that wants to keep it or something. But other than that, I don't know. It makes no sense. It's just so dumb. It became bigger than what it should have became, right? So, listen, if Frazier wants to get involved, I think, if you're going to get involved, you better do it for charity. Don't just do it to have the family make a few bucks or you sell. I don't think it's for him making money.
No, I don't think it's for him.
He's made a crap load of money, right? So I don't think it's about that. It's got to be for charity. That's the way I look at it.
I hope it's for charity, but I really think it's for this Netflix collectible show because that's what I've been hearing about. But no matter what, unless, like you said, unless it's for charity, it's really, really stupid. It's like, if you think about it, what happens if some kid in Pee Wee football spikes the football in the end zone and they suspend him. Are they going to put that football up? Right?
Exactly.
What if a little T-ball kid picks up the tee and throws it and gets suspended from T-ball? Are they going to auction that off? I don't know. It's just, it went from, all right, let the kid play. This is what he sees his heroes do. And, it's all right. He flipped the bat. Now it's like you said, it's morphed into something that's really stupid.
Yeah. I don't understand it. Thankfully, it's not making that much news where we got to be really frustrated about seeing it. But I just hope if they do sell it, it's for charity. If it's not for charity, then it's going to be really horrible. And it'll be a bad look on the sport too for that.
Yeah. I definitely think so. All right, I got another thing for you. I got all these things, because right now, if we keep talking about the Mets and Yankees the way they're playing, I'm gonna blow a gasket like Frank the Tank.
And we'll get into the rest of the league too. I think.
Let's get into the rest of the league right now, and then I'll bring this other stuff because we still have a half hour. So, all right, what do you want to talk about? How great the Milwaukee Brewers are right now?
Yeah, listen, it's ridiculous though, but right now they're up by 8 games on the Cubs. It was just like a month ago when the Cubs were in first place. And now the Cubs are 8 games behind Milwaukee. Milwaukee is just they've won 12 straight. I mean, they're just amazing. They're playing great ball. The run differential, I think, is the best in baseball at one. Yeah, it's the best, 159. It's unbelievable. They're just playing unreal ball right now. They look like the best team in baseball. I mean,
yeah, right now they do. Listen, they overtook Detroit and that, the best team in baseball right now. We thought it was going to be a tight fight between the Cubbies and Milwaukee, right? We said it could have went either way, and then the Cubs took that lead, but all of a sudden Milwaukee, they're looking great. Yeah,
it's unbelievable. And you know what? A lot of it came when their pitcher Woodruff came back from being out all of last season. He's given them a boost. And then that rookie Mizorowski, he went on the IL, but he should be back soon too. I mean, this team is only getting better, right? As we're going here, 12 straight. I mean, they're just playing great ball. And you look at these other teams too. San Diego is now in first place in the West, right? Everybody was like, oh, the Dodgers are going to be in the World Series again. They're going to be this great team. But even the Dodgers can't handle all of the injuries. I mean, every week it seems like someone else is going out with an injury. I mean, they got a couple of guys back. Snell's coming back soon. So, yeah, I think they'll be fine by the playoffs. But, I mean, and Ohtani is just Ohtani, right? The guy is just you can't say, unfortunately, you can't say enough about him on or off the field. But,
yeah,
we can get into that.
Yeah. But, okay, so what's going on with Ohtani with all these off the field things? I mean, the betting was one thing, it was the interpreter, so he took the fall for it. But now with this real estate thing and who is it? His agent, his agent, right? What's going on with Ohtani? I mean,
it's unbelievable. Like eventually it's got to be him. Right. Eventually, he's got to be a part of whatever this bad stuff that he's getting involved in. It's not always like, oh, it's the interpreter. Oh, it's agent. Like, who else is left after that? Right. So, oh, it's his business partner. Oh, It's his best friend, but he didn't know. Yeah, he didn't know his interpreter was stealing millions of dollars from him. I'm sorry. I don't care if I have $100 million in the bank. I'm still going to notice a couple of million missing. No. But
yeah, I would think so.
I don't know, but it seems very strange. But you know what? It's not bothering him on the field. I mean, the guy he's going to win an MVP. He's going to win his 4th MVP in 5 years or whatever it is. I mean, it's just unbelievable. What the guy is on the field, he is. I mean, something that we've never seen, right?
Right.
And he just pitched, I think, 4 innings the other day. We actually got, I made a comment on MLB Now. They had asked, what is it a good idea to keep stretching Ohtani out as a starter? And I said, no, I think he should be either an opener or make him the closer or a late inning guy in the playoffs, right? Like, why bother with the starting? Like, you're getting guys back. You got Glasnow back. You're going to get Blake Snell soon. You got Yamamoto still there. You still got Kershaw, right? And the other Japanese kid, Sasaki, he's working his way back. I mean, they got the guys. They got Sheehan there. So they got the starters, I think. I think it's the bullpen is where they need more help. So maybe if they use Ohtani, it's either to be an opener or let him, imagine him being the closer in the postseason. I mean, it's possible, right?
Hey, it's possible. Listen, that could be a great move, right?
It's crazy.
And then he's closing. Yeah. Listen, real quick, I wanted to get back to Milwaukee, right? I just wanted to make a comment where, you got to give a lot of credit to Pat Murphy. You really do. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, he was manager of the year last year, and I really thought Mendy was going to get it or should have gotten it. But Pat Murphy and what the Brewers did was, here's what they did. They didn't, when Craig Counsell left for the Cubs, they didn't go out there and say, well, let's go outside the organization. Let's get someone else. And, they stayed in the organization. They gave it to Murphy, and he's just doing a great job with that team.
And how does that look, right? That Counsell went to the Cubs, right, for all this money, and look at where Milwaukee is compared to the Cubs, right? They're, like we were saying, 8 games ahead of the Cubs right now, and it's nobody expected that, right? The Cubs went out and made the big move, getting Kyle Tucker, Paredes for third, and look what I'm sorry, they didn't get Paredes for third. They traded him, but
they traded him, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, the Cubs this is a team that's, built to win this year. And I don't know if they're going to re-sign Tucker or not. So he might be just a 1-year thing. It might be like with the Yankees with Soto, right? That they got him for the 1 year. And hopefully you make it to the World Series with this guy for the one season, because you don't know what you're getting past this. But yeah, I mean, that's definitely a big story on this, because, they replaced him, Counsell went to the Cubs for the big money. Can't blame the guy, but no, Milwaukee is actually even better without him, right?
Right.
Counsell was supposed to be this great manager, and yeah, he might be, but Murphy's been just unbelievable. And you're getting back to, you thought Mendoza should have won it last year. I don't think many Met fans think about that this year, him getting manager of the year, right?
Right. No, then of course not. No, I'm not.
Right.
I just brought it up for this.
I see on social media a lot. Both New York teams do not like their managers right now. So,
yeah, but they haven't liked Boone for how long? But they win the World Series, and that changes, as we know. So let's go into the American League real quick. In the East with Toronto and Boston, Boston is a game and a half up over the Yankees, right? Which you said, Boston. You said Boston's going to be in it. You called it, and I just think it's that's going to be a tight race with the Blue Jays, the Red Sox, and the Yankees. So I think that's going to be a tight race. I think Tampa has fallen out a little. They're 4-6 the last 10 games. What do you think? Do you think Tampa's done?
Yeah, I would think. I don't want to count them out I don't want to count them out yet, but you know what? They are 5.5 behind the Yankees, who are just barely holding on to that final wild card spot, right? So they're 5.5 behind. You're talking about Tampa's got to pass 1, 2, 3, 4, and the Yankees, 5 teams to get into the wild card. So that's how you got to look at it. If they were 5.5 behind the Yankees and nobody was in between, I'd say, okay, you know what? Maybe not. But you know what? When you got to pass 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the Yankees, 5 teams to get into the playoffs, yeah, you could say it's probably done for them. Boston. Listen, Boston has been playing great, and we're a week away from Yankees Boston at Yankee Stadium for a 4-game series that starts on August 21st. So that is going to be a humongous series for both teams, obviously. And Boston's got a nice little cushy approach to the Bronx, right? Because they play at home against Miami, and then they play home against Baltimore. So they got an easy little 5-game stretch here before they get to the Bronx for that big 4-game series, and then they go back. Then they go to Baltimore. So I think they got a little bit easier schedule the rest of the way, so that should be good for them. Let's see Toronto's schedule. I'm just curious how they look coming up. Because then I'll be honest, I didn't expect Toronto to be up at this point.
I didn't either.
I was expecting Toronto to come back to earth a little bit, but they're in good shape. I mean, and their schedule is not that bad coming up. So they don't play the Yankees, or we don't play Toronto until September 5th.
Yeah,
so the division might be just about done by then, when you think about it. And they don't play Boston again until September 24th.
And then that's really late. So
yeah. So that as long as they don't really collapse in the next couple of weeks, they might have that division wrapped up by the time they play them,
Yeah, so I think, but this Yankee Boston, the Yankee Boston series is going to be huge. That's going to be big, and that's going to be fun to watch. So
yeah, I mean they're only separated by a game and a half right now. So so if one team could really, either Boston can pull away a little bit, or the Yankees can pull ahead. Actually, so we'll see. I'm rooting for the Mets this weekend because they're playing Seattle. And we're trying to catch Seattle. We're like 2 games, 2.5, 3 games back of them. So, yeah, I'm rooting for the Mets this weekend.
That's a good thing. And in the Central, even though Detroit's still 6.5 games up over Cleveland. Cleveland got a little lucky there. They got to play the Mets when the Mets were really bad, so they swept the Mets at Citi Field. So that was a little bump, but they did make it close. I'm shocked. It's 6.5. And think about Cleveland sold at the deadline a little bit. They also lost their closer, Clase, to that, betting scandal, and another pitcher, Ortiz, to the betting scandal. So, and they're right there. I mean, they're right behind us for a wild card, and they're only 6.5 behind Detroit. And, we were saying earlier, Detroit looked like they were going to run away with the Central, and now it's only 6.5. Yeah, you're right, but anything could happen. And that betting scandal. With the betting scandal, you're right. They lose 2 pitchers. They lose their top relief guy, even though he wasn't having as great a season as he was last year. But still, to lose these guys, and that's another thing with this betting. What do you expect? Really, what do you expect when baseball is sponsored by DraftKings and the pregame show, like we've been saying, and the postgame show? And, this stuff's going to happen. It's just, remember, these are young kids with a lot of money. So, this kind of stuff's going to happen. So I think the Major League Baseball's got to have some kind of program for these players and gambling. I think so.
I think to a certain extent, but at another extent is like, you know what? Be responsible, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look at us. They show commercials that about alcohol, about all this stuff. Do we do it?
You're right.
If you don't want to gamble, you don't gamble. Right? And these guys, they don't have to gamble. And I think what also makes it bad too, I'll be honest, is some of these prop bets are, horrible. Like first pitch. I seen a few of them that say first pitch. If he throws over 93 miles an hour or something like that. Or, I mean, if somebody, calls them up and say, hey, can you just throw that first pitch a ball at 92 miles an hour? Don't throw your hardest pitch, your first pitch, we'll take care of you, or something.
That's right.
Right. I mean, it's that easy. It's one thing it's hard to blow a whole game right?
Yeah,
If you're
of
the
course.
starting pitcher or something, because you could give up 7 runs in the first inning, and your team could still come back and win, right? So
Right.
I think it's a lot harder for something like that. But these props, just why doesn't Major League Baseball talk to these gambling things and just say, just don't put those props down? You know, the ones that are
Yeah.
easy to kind of, finagle in some way, right?
Right, because how could you really prove if the first pitch is going to be over 95 miles per hour and he only hits 91, right?
Right. He could
Or
throw a
any
changeup,
80.
or he could throw a
Yeah,
breaking ball or a changeup,
you
right?
you can't prove that he did
No,
anything. You cannot prove it unless there's some kind of paper trail. You cannot prove it. So you're right.
exactly.
That's a good idea. That they should do something about that. But listen, that they make a lot of money with those prop bets, right? Because
Absolutely.
people think that's easy money. Oh yeah, if he could throw over 95 for that first pitch. This is going to be
Right.
an easy win. That's why people do it, of course. So
Yeah. It makes sense.
they're not going to not do it. But anyway, all right. So in the American League West, Houston's on top. Seattle's right there, a game and a half out, and Seattle's going to be playing the Mets this weekend. So that could change a little bit.
Yeah. No. Exactly. You never know. Houston lost Hader, the closer, for a while, right?
Yeah,
He
right.
just went on the IL, so that's going to be big. Their bullpen's been great though all season. But you know what? When you lose your closer, it's big because your other guys are not closers. So is the setup guy, like say Abreu, is he going to pitch as good in the 9th as he's been pitching in the 7th and 8th inning as the setup guy? So it could be a problem for Houston. We'll see how that goes. But Seattle is right there. Texas, I thought Texas was going to be better. They're one of those teams, kind of like you're waiting. Texas is. You know what? Texas is Juan Soto.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? They're the team that you expect them to do better, and they're not doing horrible, but they're not doing that good either, right? Like they're doing okay. They're hanging in, but they're starting to kind of, fall out of the race. Right now, I never thought they'd be 3.5. They're only 3.5 out of a wild card spot. They're 3.5 behind the Yankees, which is not bad, right? Because the way the Yankees are playing, they could lose 3 straight and Texas wins 3 straight and they're right in it. So, but I really thought Texas was going to be in it. That was my team. I thought would sneak back in, but who knows? I mean, right now, Kansas City, they're only 4 games out of a wild card spot. That's how close. The Angels, right. As bad as the Angels are, they're 5 games behind the Yankees. It's unbelievable.
The American League is unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Well, there's not that much time left. 40 games left in the season. So this is like you said, it's go time.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
It's definitely like we're saying this. Like, I would love to know, like, how's the clubhouse now for the Mets and Yankees? Like, aren't they like, man, we got to get going here? Like, aren't they looking at each other or talking to each other and saying, guys, we got to stop playing better? I mean, do we want to get back to the playoffs and, to the World Series and all that, So it makes no sense to me.
Oh, yeah, it definitely does. And Strikeblitz says until the second week of September, we won't know who is truly out right now. So many teams. Yeah, you're right. There are so many teams. Especially, listen, the American League, that it could go anyway. And the National League. Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati's going to be right up there until the end of the season. I just think Cincinnati. There's something with Cincinnati. You always liked them, Chris. So I think so. So they're, we won't know. We definitely won't know until September.
I mean, just look at this. This is the look at how tight that is, right? And it shouldn't be that tight. But every team, like we've been saying, there's no really that good teams in the American leagues. They're good in the American League. Like, yeah, Toronto is starting to and they're getting healthier. They're going to get Santander back. I mean, this is a team that has a chance to pull away a little bit as well. So, I mean, but the wild card is totally wide open. Any team, like you talk about Kansas City could get hot and get in there. Yeah, exactly. This is the right time. This is the time to get hot, right? With 40 games left. This is the time. You want to get hot late August, September, and ride it right into the playoffs. That's the time to do it. And unfortunately, both our teams are not playing our best right now, so that's not good.
Yeah. And
yes and no. I agree or disagree. I don't love their rotation. Yeah, of course, they got Scooble. Awesome. Yeah. But after that, right, the rest of the rotation is, to me, not great. It's okay. Bullpen is okay. They picked up Finnegan, the closer from the Nationals. So they're okay. I'm not going to say they're the most complete team. I would go with, I hate to say this, but I'm going to say Toronto is a more complete team than all of them, the way they've been playing, right? And they're getting their guys back.
That's right. Well, we will see. We definitely will see. All right, let's see. I wanted to ask you something. Oh yeah, there's a lot of controversy going on right now about this Mets dog controversy, right? The dog that's outside of Citi Field that the owner has, and he charges people to high five the dog and take pictures with the dog. And animal people are saying it's cruel, it's cruel because it's so hot out there, and other people line up for a picture with the dog, and this guy's making a lot of money. Now the Mets can't do anything about it because it's on city property, and they do not condone it. What do you think? Should this guy just get a job and not leave his dog out there?
Listen, I agree. Listen. I'm a dog lover. I have dogs. I've had dogs for over 20 years. I don't know. Here's the guy. I'll put it up. Yeah, listen, on a 90-something degree day and you're dressing your dog up like that, it's great that you could train your dog that good. But, man, I don't know if that's really that healthy for the dog to be fully clothed like that in really hot weather.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I don't know. I would hope that if the ASPCA or whatever sees this, they can at least investigate it, at least, confront them, question him, whatever they do. I don't know what the ASPCA does, but maybe they can question him. But otherwise, like you said, he's on city property. He can do what he wants. But if it's something that's, making the dog, if it's unhealthy for the dog or not safe for the dog, yeah, I would want someone to say something, because that's not right. And it's strange because I remember in front of Yankee Stadium, I haven't been there this year, but I remember a couple of years ago, they had a guy with a dog dressed up with the Yankee stuff with a pipe in his mouth. Same thing.
It's the same guy.
Is it the same guy? Does he go to both stadiums?
I don't know.
Did he get kicked out of Yankee Stadiums and now he's going to
or it's just that when the Mets are away, he could go to Yankee Stadium, and when the Yankees are away, he could go to Citi Field. I don't know. If the other dog has a pipe in its mouth too, I mean, is that a coincidence? Did he copy it? Did somebody copy it? This has been going on since Citi Field opened in 2009. But I just want to bring that up. You know what? Get your dog out of the heat already.
Exactly.
Come on, dude. It's ridiculous. I'm a dog lover. I've had dogs my whole life since I'm a little kid, and I would never do that to my dog. I don't even want to bring my dog to the ballpark on Bring Your Dog to the Ballpark Day, because why do I want to bring my dog to a game?
Right.
To me, I think that's one of the most stupidest promotions I've ever heard of. These people bring these dogs to a game. My dog, you know what my dog would be doing? And he's a small dog. All he would be doing is trying to eat hot dogs and food off of the freaking ground. This dog, that's all he would be doing. And then I'd be giving Dr. Jerger even more business than I give him now.
Right.
With my dog.
Like, take your dog.
Yeah. So I bring your dog to the stadium day.
What do they do when the dogs have to go to the bathroom? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't want to be the usher who
set up, like on the walk, around the. stadium.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be the usher who has to clean that up or whatever. But, I guess you're supposed to. I guess they have those little machines with doggy bags around the stadium. I don't know. I would never bring my dog to a game. I wouldn't have to worry about the dog if it's too hot. He's small. If somebody's going to step on him. That to me,
listen,
I want to go to.
Everybody knows. I'm just surprised because he's been around. Obviously, he's been at Citi Field for a long time. I remember seeing someone at Yankee Stadium with a dog. Someone should talk to him and say, "Hey, is this normal? Is this okay?" Right? I mean, it just doesn't seem right. When it's hot out, I didn't want my dog to sit outside when it's 90 degrees, let alone with clothes on.
My dog, I make my dog sit in the air conditioner. Forget it, because how they can't. That's how they perspire.
And
but anyway, all right.
Their paws are on the
the hot. You're right.
I don't see.
So that's one thing.
He's got a carpet. He does.
All right. So he's got a carpet, but still, I'm not bringing my dog, having my dog walk around the stadium. No way, and forget it. My dog would be all over the place. Like I said, trying to eat food. That's not good. All right. Anyway, we got a couple of minutes, and I want to thank our friend Scott Morganroth from South Florida Tribune. First, I want to say that he's going to start a new baseball show this Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 with former Mets manager Mickey Callaway. All right. So the debut is this Saturday morning at 9 a.m. They're going to talk baseball. They're going to have Mickey's going to give his thoughts about what's going on. I'm looking forward to watching it. I was on their Monday night show, 108 Stitches Baseball Talk with Scott and Mickey Callaway, and I had a great time. Also, Eric Katz, who's going to be on the show in a couple of weeks, was on that show too. I had a lot of fun. In fact, I'm returning on Monday night, so give him and Chris was on their football show. How did you like the football show, Chris?
Yeah, I loved it. You know me. I love talking baseball. I love talking football. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'll be on his show on Wednesday at probably 8:30. So that should be fun. Here's his book. He wrote a book on, basically all of his stories. He's got over 40 years in the business of covering sports and everything else. So it's a great book. If you're interested, it's on Amazon. Here's the link. Lessons from the Microphone: Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders by Scott Morganroth. So definitely check it out, and check out the shows that we're going to be on. They're really awesome. The baseball show that you're on Mondays is awesome. Football, I did the football one the last couple of weeks on a Tuesday night. I'll be going back to the Wednesday. The Wednesday is usually all different sport topics, which is still a lot of fun. Definitely check us out, though. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Chris, it's called the Sports Exchange on Wednesday. So,
okay, there you go.
Yeah, so catch Chris next Wednesday on the Sports Exchange. Catch me Monday night on the baseball show with former Mets manager Mickey Callaway. And by the way, Mickey and Scott will be on our show soon. We're setting it up. Mickey said he wants to come on the show, so that'll be really cool. And we're going to try to get Scott on. We're not going to try. We're going to have Scott on with Anthony Savino. So that should be a lot of fun.
Yes, it's like getting it's like a steel cage match. I think all we need is Frank the Tank to throw it in there. It'd be a triple death match or something between the three of them. But but it'll be fun. It'll definitely be fun. Listen, it's sports, and listen, like I said, especially with Anthony Savino, I love the passion that comes out in us too, right? Especially when our teams are doing bad, it definitely comes out. But yeah, that's what being a sports fan is all about. The ups and downs, but the passion is there. So I'm looking forward to it. And with Scott and with Mickey Callaway, it'd be great to talk to him because he's a former manager, obviously the Mets, pitching coach with Cleveland. I would love to know. I would love to
pitching coach with the Angels, right? Too.
Yeah. I would love to talk to him, especially because he could tell us like what's going on, not exactly with the Yankees and Mets, but just tell us like what the manager would be thinking of doing here, and like just his kind of strategy to get his teams through this really, really rough time for both teams, and especially getting close to the end of the season and trying to get to the playoffs. Like, how do you turn it around from a manager's point of view? It's one thing the player can, but what does a manager do in these kind of situations? So I would love to talk to him about that. So hopefully we'll get them on soon. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. And we just want to thank everybody out there who's listening. And if you haven't subscribed on YouTube, please subscribe, because we get a big audience for these shows. It's amazing. And you guys just stay with us. A lot of times we see these shows and they don't get as many viewers as us, and the people drop off. Our people, you guys out there, you stay for the whole show, and we love it. It's great. We like more comments, though. We got some today, but we want to hear more from you. And if you guys are passionate about your team, get in touch with us, and we'll have you on the show. We want people to come on the show. Yeah,
exactly. We want more passionate fans, even if it's not a Yankee and Met. Like, we've already had the Cincinnati Reds. We had Baltimore Orioles fan. Like, we've had a bunch of fans already.
We had the Washington. Yeah, we had the Nationals with Rick Lewis.
Yep.
So
exactly,
it's great. But that's it for me, Chris. You have anything else?
No, nothing much. Like, I think you said it perfectly. If you haven't subscribed to us yet, hit that sub button on YouTube. If you're not on, get on YouTube and sign in, and definitely hit that sub. It's free. We're not charging anything, so don't worry. But just hit that sub button for us, and you know what, and keep commenting. We love the interaction. We love to talk to people while our show's on. So definitely stay with us.
Great.
Talk. You disagree with us, you agree with us, give us a different idea, a question you want us to kind of talk about, put it up there, or join us. That's even better. So I think, I'm looking forward to next week's show.
Yeah, I just wanted to real quick before we go. Next week, we're going to it's going to be back to the Friday night show. So it'll be the Friday night post-game show live next Friday. Check the schedule for Monday, because I'm not sure what time we're going to be on or what's going on. I'll know more about it tomorrow. So for Monday, you're going to have to check the schedule. But for Friday, we'll be on next Friday at 10 o'clock. Or if the Met and Yankee games are going good, right after the game, we'll play it by ear. And remember, we're going to be on those other shows. Me on Monday night and Chris on Wednesday. So until next week, thanks, everyone. We'll see you, and we'll talk to you next week.